What's up, everybody? This is Nate Bargatze, the Nateland podcast. I'm here. As always, I introduce Aaron Weber, right there, Brian Bates at the end of the table. I introduced myself. I think someone said that.
Yep.
That lady were like, well, who are you?
Well,
hope they made it here.
Who are you?
I don't know. I said it. I said, I'm Nate Bargatze. That's the first thing I said.
Oh, sorry. I was zoned out.
Like typical listeners. They're all, that's what we get. People zoned out. Thanks for listening again. We love all of you. Everybody's been super nice and supportive, and as we figure this whole podcast thing out, we've had a lot of people reach out. I mean, just super nice. And it's been awesome. The comments have been great. Brian's been talking to a lot of you.
Too many.
That's what they said too. They go, hey, that's what my messages are. Like, hey, tell Brian to like back off a little bit. Like he messaged me. He reached out to me. Like he's asking other people questions. So we're going to, as usual, I don't know if it's as usual. We just did it last week, but we're going to read some comments from the last week's episode. Just some questions I got. We're going to, one was the hat I was wearing last week. It said Troub on it, Troub, and someone wants to know what that is. That is a golf course, Troubadour. It's a golf course here in Nashville, so I golf a lot. I get a lot of hats from different places, and that's what that hat was. So I wish it was cooler than that. Also, someone asked, in response to Nate talking about wearing rubber bands and more than one pair of shorts. Definitely did the rubber bands growing up. This guy, my brother would use the bands that keep asparagus bundles together. I did have a friend who wore two pairs of shorts at the same time, but it was because his top layer didn't have pockets.
I got a lot of people saying that they did what you did.
They did?
Yeah.
With rubber bands or the shorts?
Both.
But I don't understand if you want pockets, so why not just wear the shorts that have pockets?
Because it's cool to wear two shorts, man. Look. All these people that wore these two shorts have to be my age. I mean, there's no way they're not.
Do you wear two polo shirts too?
I would wear two shirts. I'd wear two T-shirts.
Yeah.
I bet everybody that wore them has to be my age. Class of 97, high school. Like, there's no way they're not. You can always tell when someone's like your age.
Yeah.
When they're like, I do that. You know what I thought of? I actually might think of this as as a joke in my act. So... I'm sure that happens a lot with podcasts. You do stuff and then get in your act, so just be aware of it. But I thought the older I get, the more when I see someone, I'll like meet them and I'll talk to them and I'm like, oh yeah, man. I'm like, how old are you? And I mean, dude, I think they're going to say 50 and they say like 38 and I'm 40, like I'm 3 years older, and it happens all the time. And I mean, it's people that I'm like, dude, how old do I look? Because this guy looks like he's 60.
Yep.
And he's like, doesn't even understand my references. That's how much older I am than him. Like, you're blown away. It's just like immediate. It's like obviously you can't see yourself. So you just, in your brain, you think, well, everybody's older than me. Because you're 20, everybody's older than you. And then you hit 41, and then you realize I'm the one older than you just have to go. Every thing you're talking about, you're like, well, I mean, I'm much older than you guys. And they're like, nah, I don't know about that. And then I'm like, well, how old are you? They're like 30. And you're like, oh, I'm much older. You just repeat it. Uh-huh. I'm much older than you guys.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely like that. I mean, we go to these open mics, and they're all Aaron's age. And I feel like we're the same age.
Yeah.
But we're not. I'm like one of those deer videos where a dog raises a baby deer and like they don't even know that they're not the same breed. Yeah. I think I'm one of them, and I'm just
walking around.
They're like, oh my God, my dad's here.
There's times I've been with someone where I'm like, I want to be like, could you call your dad and could I hang out with him? Like, I will get along with him more than I will. Mm-hmm. All right. Maybe that won't go in the act. I don't know. I think it'll go. I got a spot for it. That's what I do. Find a little spot. Just find a little...
Wedge it in
somewhere. It can get in there. Little pieces. That's how you build your act. It's piece by piece. It's like finding wood. You find old wood laying out. You're like, I could do something with this. I don't know. I said Jamie from Progressive was jacked. someone looked up Jamie from Progressive. I think Nate's definition of jacked is a bit different than most people's. I thought he was like swole. I thought he like looked like he was. He
looked good, dude.
He looked strong.
Yeah,
like a strong guy. I bet Jamie would fight this guy.
And you got to think even
we're gonna get Jamie and this guy to fight. Like, you go, yeah.
Even actors that look like a little dopey, they're all in great shape.
You know, Michael Scott in The Office.
Yeah.
He was very in shape, and I know people that wrote on that show, and they would have to give him clothes to make so you couldn't tell how in shape he was because it was not as funny. If you really saw it, you see it like there's like an episode where you see it where he has a tight shirt on. Dude, he is, just a thick cut, like his muscles, like his pecs are just gigantic.
Did that happen between season 1 and 2? Like, because I remember season 1, he looked a little, he was balding, he was a little bit out of shape.
Yeah.
He must have filmed something between season 1 and season 2.
Well, that show took off.
Oh, yeah?
The Office, Office was out the gate pretty good. It's not like Seinfeld. Like Seinfeld was, I just listened to Seinfeld talk about it. Like it was like 4 seasons and they were just barely hanging on, but someone liked it. They're like, keep plugging along. But they said Ted Danson retired, and then they got Thursday night, and then that's when Seinfeld just went and shot up. But for The Office, I think because it did good, the British Office did good, and so The Office kind of came out the gate, and I felt like it was like a good show, right?
Oh, I thought you said it took off between 1 and 2.
No, I'm saying it from the beginning. It wasn't like Seinfeld, where it's like 4 seasons of them being like, "Are we going to get canceled?" I think The Office was kind of after season 1. It was like he's almost like, "I got to go get in shape and look good because we're about to do 22 of these, and this is going to be a hit show." Like Modern Family. Modern Family was a hit show from the beginning. They, like once you get on it, they know that it's happening. You got a show that you're going to be able to do as long as you want to do it. Like you can tell, where Seinfeld was doing a show where it was, I don't know if it's going to happen, Every time they're like, are we going to get canceled?
Keep in mind, the only reason we're talking about Jamie being jacked is because a lot of people say he looks like me. So just keep in mind, remember why we were even talking about this.
You all the same shirt, but besides that, in response to Nate saying 3 identical strangers kept stopping on Hulu, Nate, the Hulu problem sounds like an ad block is enabled and blacking out the ads. That's unbelievable.
Were you watching on your laptop?
No, I was watching in the TV in our bedroom, and I was watching in there. Which I don't ever watch TV in there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the family was gone, and so I was like, I'm gonna lay in bed and watch a weird 3 identical strangers movie, and I just kept stopping. That makes so much sense. That comment, good for you. That's a huge help because I would have just accepted that's what's happening. When you just accept something where you're like, you see so many times you just are like, it just goes black for a little bit
for 30-second increments,
and it would come back.
Aaron
on.
said that last week.
Did you?
I don't know. I was thinking.
Or was it you? I don't know. Somebody suggested that last week.
It would come. It would like at first it would go black, and I just was like, all right. I thought something was wrong with my internet, and then I one time left and came back, and then it was back on, and I was like, oh, maybe I just got to wait it out. None of this ever clicked in my head.
Well, you hate ads too, don't you?
Yeah, I got YouTube.
Yeah.
If you can get YouTube with no ads, people should do that. Because you can. I got it through my buddy Dan Chackey, a comic. He got it, and he's allowed to give it to like 5 people, and so I'm one of his 5 people. But it's so you can do it like that. But the YouTube no ads is amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. Speaking of ads, no, we don't have an ad, but we will hopefully have ads. So
progressive.
But it's unbelievable. You when you get it with no ads, you like forget that you're like, dude, this is so much better.
Yeah.
Not having to sit. People just get used to waiting for ads though, so they're fine with it. In response to the triplets all smoke the same brand of cigarettes, someone said, I love this conversation, but brand of cigarettes is definitely a bigger deal among smokers, more so than you might think as a non-smoker. I have these close friends who all smoke different cigarettes. It's more interesting than it sounds. So just being like, people like talking about like what kind of brands they like. Are you a Camel guy? You're a Marlboro guy? I think that fits in I'm a Diet Pepsi person. But I can do Diet Coke and people don't like Diet Pepsi though. For some reason, my family we've always done Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
But that's a big one. My buddy's a Coke Zero guy. I'm not a big fan of Coke Zero.
I don't think we were saying that your brand of cigarettes wasn't meaningful to you. Just that all of their favorite brand of cigarettes is the most popular brand.
Yeah.
If they were all smoking turquoise American spirits, that would be interesting.
I feel like you took offense to that comment. Yeah, calm down, big fella. All right, this person leaving a comment. Yeah, yikes. He goes
just shining some light on it, you know?
Easy, big
someone
fella.
that's like, easy, big fella. All right, here we go. You just lose your mind.
I'm really defensive of Marlboro Lights.
Yeah.
Dude.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I would if I could do like something, I would smoke cigarettes. Like if it was like, hey, it's fine. I like it. I like seeing people do it. I think it's old school, and I think I
should do it on the show.
Dude, that would be great.
You saying if it came out that there were no health repercussions at all,
yeah,
you'd be all about
turns out,
it?
guys, they were right in the 50s when doctors were saying smoke. Like that, yeah. I just think again, this could be the older you get, you just miss some older stuff, seeing older stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you would see smoking cigarettes on TV everywhere. So
on planes. And,
yeah, I never saw a plane, but Bates probably did. He probably smoked on a plane. Did you ever see smoking on a plane?
How old do you think I am?
Huh? Well, what year did they stop smoking on a plane? I was born.
For some reason, I've looked this up recently. It was later than you think.
Mr. Cigarette over here.
It was like late 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, really?
I mean, airlines started to phase it out.
Yeah.
But it didn't become a law until the late. I have no idea.
How you
if that's
face it?
true,
Were they like
but
smoking or non-smoking?
Just look up real fast
They pulled
what the date, because
'Cause,
that's very interesting if it's late 90s.
A lot of those planes are, it's the no smoking. It's a light because they could turn it on and turn it off when the planes were made.
Yeah.
It says 88 started phasing out. And
Yeah.
By 2000, it was prohibited on all U.S. flights.
I'm
Can you
amazed that
imagine
was right.
2000.
Yeah.
I mean, they should still do it every now and again, man. I'd fly on
or an
it.
all-smokers plane. How about that?
Yeah, I'd fly on it.
Aaron?
I mean, dude, I loved how, like, just smoking was, you walk in an office building, it just wasn't, like, there's something, I think growing up in that era where smoking was, cool, like doctors would smoke in commercials or something.
Oh, sure.
It was, they were for it. They encouraged it. The doctor would look at your chart and go, have you thought about smoking?
Uh-huh.
That's, I get the health risk, but they had some fun back there, man. All right, almost done. In response to Brian saying some twin athletes have different degrees of success, bailing out Brian with twins Jose and Ozzy Canseco.
Thank you.
So they had wildly different.
Yeah, I could not think of one right offhand
Both
last
made
week.
it, though.
Oh, I've never heard of Ozzy Canseco.
Yeah, Jose
He's a
had
baseball player, too?
Jose's twin
Jose's twin-
sister.
No, brother.
Oh, sorry. Had it upside down. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, you know Jose Canseco, right?
Sure.
Yeah, he had a twin brother.
Politician, Jose Canseco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jose, not Hall of Fame.
Really?
No, he's
I don't think so.
the king of the steroids, though. I mean,
Didn't he run for mayor of
He
Toronto or
he's the one that told everybody.
yeah, nobody believed him.
No one believed him. Yeah. But that's weird to think. Are you fine with him saying it? Like Jose, are you? Because there's a weird thing with like whistleblowers, kind of where people get mad at whistleblowers, which is really unfair. Because it's everybody wants to know that rules are not getting broken, and then a guy does do it, and then everybody's like, "Why do you say something?" But I get it with that. If you're doing it and taking all these steroids, why do you on the way out the door? Like, I think it's how you do it. If you're like Jose's career's kind of going down, and then he's like, "By the way, everybody's doing steroids."
It's just so funny because he's so infamous. He had a home run ball bounce off his head.
That's what I know him most from, is that clip.
And now he's big on Twitter because he posts the most ridiculous stuff, but people retweet him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Some crazy
He's
stuff.
like OJ without the murder.
He was kind of like
Speaking
Gronk.
of next,
OJ without the murder is a pretty fun guy.
yeah, not a bad game. Likes to golf. Did you get over that part of it? The last response to Nate's orange hands. I don't think they're orange. I think my tan and I think the
I got
lighting,
a bunch of responses on this.
Oh man, it might be low on iron. Did I say iron right? I don't think I say it right.
We know what you're saying.
How do you say it?
Iron.
Iron.
Yeah.
Iron. I think it's very southern. I think we say it southern. How do you say it?
Iron.
Iron. Nate might be low on iron if his hands are orange. And by the looks of his clothing, he's freezing while everyone's in short sleeves. We keep it very cold up here, like David Letterman's studio, for the laughs. You can see it get a little bit colder. I called him. Like when we tape, we do this 11 a.m. I mean, I have not been up for long. Like I don't get up at 6 a.m., 8 a.m. Like I mean, I'm up as they get here sometimes. So
you're the most cold-natured man I've ever met.
I'm very cold-natured in the morning.
I think this person's onto something. You just got through working out, and you're wearing a coat.
Well, today I worked out. I don't always work out. Today was the first day. I'm not wearing I think it looks better too to not have your arms all flailing out.
Well,
you know, like
if you're jacked,
yeah,
people want to see it.
Him and Jamie, they go, Jay, could you guys put some jackets on? I like wearing long sleeve. We keep it cold up here. It's not crazy to wear this during the day. We're not doing it out in the sun. I'm in a normal place. I'd like to be left alone. They get it. But normally I do wake up. Today I did work out. I'm trying to work out. But then normally I do wake up. People don't like. Sometimes I'm talking to someone and I've been awake for 20 minutes, dead sleep to 20. Like I woke up at like 10:15 and we do this at 11.
Yeah.
But I don't go to bed till 2. So I always get that. People always. I'm not I don't get up early. I'm starting to get up a little bit early, but like I don't get up early. But I don't go to bed till I sleep 8 hours usually. It'll be 8 or less. But I'll go to bed. Last night I went to bed at like 2 something because I finished Mission Impossible: The Fallout.
Yeah.
And it's a good one, man. It's really good.
I haven't seen it.
It's great. It's really great. And so I watched that, but so I sleep. That's the comics lifestyles. We have there's no schedule. We don't really have a routine. It's very hard for us to get into a routine. That's why working out and eating good is extremely hard because you're just always kind of, especially when you're touring, your times are always messed up. You're doing shows at 9, like you got to be awake at 9, like and rolling at 9, like on top of it, and then you can't go to sleep. That's where, like the Bulls documentary they did. They were like, say they would take naps during the day because they have to be at their peak performance at 10 p.m. Imagine playing a full basketball game at 10 p.m. Like,
What time do you go to bed?
I like this one. Last one. Oh, what are you going?
I just asked what time you went to bed.
Yeah, I would pull an all-nighter like once a week for years for no reason.
Yeah.
My sleep schedule's crazy, but I would go to bed 2 or 3 most nights.
Yeah, that's what I do now. And then I like to go to bed at 1. I would love to get it down to midnight. If I could get it to midnight, go to bed at midnight, it'd be terrific.
Yeah.
But I like to 1 would be great. Have you ever seen the sunset, or you already sleep always? Anyway, it's pretty good.
Do you go to bed late?
I mean, I watch local news.
Everybody, welcome my Aunt Patty to the show. That's
I always see the 7-day
Veter joke. Aunt Patty, very funny comedian. Gary.
Yeah, I see the 7-day forecast, and then I turn in.
They still tease it for quite a while.
Yeah, they keep you around.
And it's pretty crazy for them to tease it, and you're like, y'all know I can just look this up in 2 seconds, but they know you won't.
Well, let me just share this. When I worked in TV news, they do 15-minute increments for TV ratings. So they would always say, do not hit the 7-day forecast till 10:20, because if you watch it for 5 of those 15 minutes, they get it counted for the entire 15 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they said, don't show it till 10:20, because so many people stuck around for that you'd get counted for the whole 10:15 to 10:30 in the ratings.
Wow.
So that drives a lot of the views, the weather, huh?
Yeah.
But that's had to hurt a ton with phones and...
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is something great about waiting.
Yeah.
It is like I've seen... I've like had to...
You should try commercials.
Yeah. I've seen the news, when I've seen like local news on, and then they always kind of break up the weather. And you are like, there is a little bit that you're like, oh, well, what's it going to be? And you know that you could go figure it out. But you're like, I don't want to figure it out. I would like to hear him tell me. Like, there's kind of a fun thing to that. You should not get everything whenever you want it. Last one, love Nate, love the podcast.
Oh, that's nice.
Haven't been a podcast listener until now. Welcome. Downloaded all 3 episodes while traveling recently. So fun. Sad to miss seeing Nate live, but this has been a good substitute. Enjoying getting to know Brad and Aaron. Keep it up, guys. Funny stuff. Brad and Aaron. This is Aaron. That's Brad.
All right.
I love that. I said that to Brad.
Speaking of Brad had a bit of a morning.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I left here, or I left to come. Well, I had to go pick up his iced coffee on the way. So that's another story. But I go to my car, and apparently I left my door unlocked, and somebody got in my car and ransacked through my car.
Wow.
Stuff strewn everywhere.
They don't sleep in there. They make it them homes.
So luckily I don't keep much valuables in there. They just went through my glove box.
Bit of a downer for that guy.
Yeah.
They got into that's so funny that nothing was stolen. The guy left Brian.
Well, I don't know.
He left Brian $10.
I got to Starbucks and I popped my trunk and my golf clubs were still there.
I mean, if you've seen these golf clubs, the guy, it would have been a headache for that guy to take these golf clubs. It was not worth the time. He's left-handed, which is not even the problem. It's the age of the clubs. But to look at him and go, all right, maybe I can do something with them. He's like, and they're left-handed? I mean, the buyer for that is limited to, he would probably have to sell them back to Brian. That's the only thing he would have to somehow follow Brian and pop up and be like, hey, would you like to buy some clubs? And you would be like, oh, these look familiar.
I love the thought of a guy ransacking through cars and he pulls them out like, left-handed?
Yeah.
He puts them back?
Puts them back in.
Yeah.
The trunk was, you could tell that they're in the trunk too?
No, the trunk looked fine. I don't think he popped it, but I didn't know.
No windows broke.
No, apparently I left it unlocked, so that's on me.
Wow. That's a little bit on the guy that broke in, too. So
Yeah,
don't
it's a
put it
lot
all
on him.
yourself.
That idea that, like, I always hated that when people were like, well, I left my door unlocked. You're like,
I was prematurely-
people should not be stealing, too. So that should happen.
No,
But
I agree. I was prematurely saying that before you guys chastised me for leaving my door unlocked.
No, I've never, we had our old neighborhood, someone did our whole street. And they came, like, that seems to happen, where they just come down. We parked in the garage, and anybody that wasn't parked in the garage, every car got broken into. Mm-hmm. And they just came. And I'm always up, like, we're talking about being up late. Like, I always take a gander out, see what's going on. But they did it at, like, 4.
Just taking a gander.
No one goes out at, like, 2. If they did 2, I got it. But I don't know what I'm going to do. But.
Well, now he knows your sleep schedule. You're going to bed at midnight. He can just run wild all night.
Maybe I don't. Maybe I go to bed at 4. I think it's, you never know. You also got stabbed in the neck during this.
No, I didn't get stabbed. But I had basal cell carcinoma, which is the smallest form of skin cancer. It's fine, but they said it'd probably been there for years, but it's on my neck, and I had to go have it removed. It's not fun. Mm-hmm. So I go there, and I don't know about you guys. I don't like to tell people I'm a comedian because I just don't want to get into it.
I do. I used to not, but I can't even think of ideas anymore. It's just I don't like telling them. I try not to say anything. Right. Then if I get pressured, I'll say it.
I don't like to say anything. The first lady at the checkout, she said, "Are you employed?" And I just said no, which has basically been true lately.
Yeah.
But then I get in there and they're working on me, and I mean they're digging into my neck. And one of the guys there was like, "So what do you do for a living?" And I was like, "Well, I'm actually a comedian." I always say I'm actually. It's like I'm embarrassed to say it.
I say it too.
I'm actually a comedian. And then he's like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I was always a class clown. I've been thinking about getting into that." And then he keeps talking to me about
doctor thinking about getting into it.
I was going to
now.
say
No. This was a male nurse.
Well, then he's obviously he should get into it anyway.
Said he majored in something else in college. Just still thinking about getting into it. So then these other nurses come in and the doctor, and he's like, "This guy's a comedian." And then this guy starts telling jokes and borderline inappropriate jokes.
Wow.
I mean, there was a Viagra joke in there, and it's so awkward. And this guy's working on me. The best part is, though, with masks. Well, we all had masks on. It's great because you don't have to smile. You don't have to fake it as much because we have a mask on. So he has no idea. But it was not fun.
I love them listening to the story. So I did, like, where they they know you or they ask you if you're a comedian. I had it at my high school in Nashville, Donaldson Christian Academy. We went to it, and my only alumni. So I do we do a golf tournament. And it's become the Nate Bargatze golf tournament. It wasn't, and then now it's just become that. And so we did it a few months ago. Have I not told this story on here? No. So we did it a few months ago, and I'm sitting there taking a picture with. I would go around. I just kind of went around, talked to everybody. I'm taking a picture with this kid. And he was like, "Oh, me and my mom watched you on Netflix," and very nice. And so as I'm taking the picture, another guy that I know from, like, he's like my friend's uncle or something. So I kind of know him, but not really, And he's like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "You still doing that comedy thing?" Just asked me as I'm taking a picture with the guy that's a fan of my comedy thing that I'm doing. And I was like, "Yeah."
At the event that's named
at
after
the event called Nate Bargatze, the Nate Bargatze golf tournament. And he goes, "You still doing it?" I was like, "Yeah, just plugging along, man, doing whatever I can." And he's like, "That's good, man. All right, good to hear." I mean, if I was like, "Nah, it didn't work out. We're construction now," he'd be like, "All right, that's cool. Yeah, man. Well, at least you gave it a go, Chase your dream. That's more than most, I mean, that's what the other route he would have gone. That's what I should have said. I tried my hardest.
He was going to offer you a job.
Yeah. And I need it. We're talking about getting recognized. Like, what's you recognizing?
One time we were doing a show, and I can't remember where it was, but the next day I went to like a Subway or something. We're waiting there, and I recognize somebody from the show. And we're still there waiting, and I said, "Hey, were you at the Nate Bargatze show last night?" And she's like, "Yeah." She said, "Were you there?" And I was like, yeah, I was on the show. And then she immediately tried to recover. She's like, "Oh, yeah. I thought you." She's like, "I got there a little late.
We were sitting far away.
I couldn't see much." Well,
so I recognized her. She did not recognize me.
That's so far.
That's so great. Come to the shows. Brian will recognize you out. You want to feel like a celebrity. Brian goes out, "Hey, fourth row, kind of in the middle. Big lady next to you," and then you're like, "Yeah." And he goes, I was on stage. Remember? Like, we get the full experience. That's part of the VIP package. Is just Brian will recognize you. You get to go out in public and order food, and you can't be left alone. Brian comes up to you. "Can I get a picture with you?" And you have to go like, "I'm eating with my family right now, so maybe after." We give you the full on real.
You don't even have to recognize me. I will spot you. Don't worry about it.
No, I think we met. Yeah, you leave going, "I guess maybe I knew that guy." I don't know.
That's so funny.
All right. So this episode, I feel like we've already been doing 2 hours, but this episode we're going to dive into sports. Sports are back. Baseball's back. Golf is back. Golf has been terrific. If you've watched any of that, been very just exciting rounds. I know people don't care about golf always, but it's very fun, very dramatic. People should care about golf. Golf's especially when you watch a tournament. I mean, it's like a soap opera. It's like you just watch some guy will be in the lead, and then it's so slow, and then he loses the lead, and then you watch him like kind of fall apart, like, and then another guy gets on hot and then rises up, and it's unreal, dude. Some of the majors. They've seen Rory McIlroy lost in the Masters. It was he was a kid. He was I think 19 or something, and he crumbled. And it's the one. Yeah, people that watched it know, he hit a ball so far out of like up in the woods that now they have a sign up there, I think, that says this is, no one can believe that the ball got up that far. And you see him, and when he does it, he just like leans on his, and your heart breaks. It's just this, it's a kid. It's a kid, and he lost the tournament. Jordan Spieth had the same thing happen to him. It's very, it's just how dramatic it is unbelievable. I know it's very slow, but I get the idea of that. But we're all enormous fans of sports, so we want to talk about sports. And sports, you got to love sports. We were thinking about what qualifications do you need as a fan to be able to call a team us or we when referring to that team? For Vandy, I say us and we for Vandy. Mm-hmm. And I would, my Titans probably too.
I mean, I have a whole system in place, and I'll call people out on it. Because I have friends I got a friend, but he's a big Lakers fan. He's like, I think we're going to take it this year. And that drives me crazy.
Yeah. Johnny W.
Yeah, Johnny W. is the guy. For me, I think if you went to that school, then by all means, you can always call it we. So for you, Notre Dame, Vol State.
Yeah.
You can always.
Always we.
Always
you went
we.
to Notre Dame? You graduated from Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Really. You could have went to Vol State and you'd be in the same position.
You're right. I could have gone to Vol State.
So if you go to the school...
But you didn't.
Yeah.
They got serial killers there.
Yeah, that is true. We're a little more rough around the edges at Vol State.
Regis just died. Shout out to Regis.
Yeah.
He's a big Notre Dame guy. Anyway.
Yeah, Regis is amazing. Mm-hmm. Dude was on TV... You could say, almost as much as his regular life.
He had the world record for most minutes on television.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it even close?
I don't know.
It was like 20,000 hours or something?
Yeah, a ridiculous amount of time that guy's been on TV.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway.
If you live in that town,
you
can call it we. Or if it's a state school or a state team like the Titans, if you live in that state, I feel like you can call it we.
Okay, so Nate can say we for Vandy.
Yeah.
Because he lives in Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the Brian Bates rules. But the Braves, no. I don't even think Memphis Grizzlies.
Even if you're a Braves fan your whole life. I think if you're a fan your whole life, if you're a diehard fan and you love them, I think you can no matter where you live. We didn't have a football team. So before the Titans, Ryan Malone, the guy who grew up, he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
No. And
so he would do it. He could say we. I do get it. I don't ever care about it that much. I just want you to be a fan of the team.
Ryan played for the Steelers, though.
Yeah. Ryan Malone?
Yeah. Did he?
No.
Bellevue Steelers?
No.
Oh, I thought that's why he was a fan.
No, I was a Redskins fan because I played for the Donaldson Warriors, and we had Redskins helmet.
Oh, I thought he played for a team that had for the Steelers.
Or Washington football helmet.
My bad.
Yeah. But I think if you're a big fan and you love the team, my problem with I don't like when people are like kind of like loose fans. And I remember like Vandy lost out and like when they lost to MTSU one year, that someone like does not care about MTSU, but they went to MTSU and then they called we beat you, and you're like. And you're like, hey, my whole life is this Vandy team. So maybe you don't know who the coach is at MTSU. You've never been to a game, even though you went there. Like, maybe back off. Like, this is my whole world is Vanderbilt sports or Titan, now Titans. And so I think that's when you can say we. I feel like I say it more with Vandy than I do with the Titans.
Yeah.
I think the Titans, I don't know why.
Well, I feel better. In college sports, there's something other than the team that you can align yourself with, right? There's an institution that the team is a part of. Mm-hmm. It's like an NFL team, it's just the team.
Yeah.
I don't feel a part of the Tennessee Titans the way that I would a university that's nearby. You know what I mean? It's like there's a whole...
Even if you didn't go to that university?
I don't know. I would never say... Like, I grew up a big Alabama fan. I don't know if I ever said we or us.
Yeah.
But I would be more likely to say that about Alabama than the Falcons.
Yeah. But if someone it's like if someone's like, how's Alabama going to do this year? Like, we're going to be, I think, pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like you say it like that. Like some of it too is just the way you talk. Like it's not, you just say something the way it is. I don't think it's like you're making some crazy big statement. But I mean, the guy that went and knocked that tree or like poisoned the tree at Auburn.
Harvey Updike?
Yeah.
I love that.
Can that, that guy can say we.
I would say he's earned it, dude.
He's earned the
But he
we.
lived in Alabama. He was an Alabama fan.
Dadeville.
Yeah.
It's from Dadeville, Alabama.
And then if you don't know, there's a big famous tree in Auburn that they roll the toilet paper
Toomer's
on.
Corner.
Yeah, Toomer's Corner. I saw it after it was poisoned. But it was still there, and they were like, it's got 2 years left. Like, it doesn't die,
Yeah.
It's a long game for that guy. And that guy couldn't wait. He told me immediately.
He could have told him way later. Yeah.
Oh, he had 2 years. 2 years before it, like, goes away. And he called the local sports show.
Feinbaum. He called,
Oh, Feinbaum.
It was
not local, but yeah.
It was because they put a Scam Newton jersey on a statue of Papa Bryant. So it was retaliation. He had to let him know right away, like, I didn't just let this sit. Like, I acted immediately.
What drives me crazy is when someone says we when the team starts doing well, and then as soon as they start struggling, it's they.
Well, as two Predators fans, did that annoy you when the Predators were good all of a sudden? The town seemed to embrace them?
I'm a little different with that because I think hockey's still so new. Like, I am a Predators fan, but it's not like it's football, so it's not the same thing. So I do want the town to embrace it. I do like when the town gets behind the team. I understand why they do that. I went to the Stanley Cup Finals when it was here. I mean, how crazy is it during those final runs? I got very annoyed that they just kind of like ESPN. I was livid. ESPN would not. They kept being like, "Is Nashville even a hockey town?"
Yeah.
And dude, it was cheaper to fly to Pittsburgh and buy a ticket and a hotel than it was to stay home and buy a ticket in Nashville. So you're like,
wow.
What point do you like?
Yeah, what do we have to do?
Broadway's shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 50,000 people or 100,000 people out on the streets watching this. Yeah, dude, we are fans.
Yeah.
So but yeah, with hockey. I mean, it's like, there's guys that are way into hockey, but like I'm way more into football. But with the Predators, I don't know if I've ever said we. Vanderbilt, I do feel now a very close tie with. I mean, how much I've know a lot of the coaches, I know stuff. So Vanderbilt's the most.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've always been the most thing that I love the most because we didn't have this stuff. And then and then the Titans came and but when the Titans were bad for a long time, I watched them all, but you're able to get maybe a little distant from it. Where Vanderbilt, when it's like I'm just sitting in that stadium. We got 4 wins, there's 100 people there,
Yeah.
and I'm just there, like
Brian, can I ask you, is there a time when you should stop saying we about your high school team? You're too old to do that anymore?
No, you can always do that.
If you're in that town, I think if you stay in that town, I think if you're a small town,
okay.
Like my high school is in Donaldson, but we're a suburb of Nashville, so it's just it would be different to say we. But if it's Friday Night Lights, if you're in
that's true. Yeah, if you're okay.
That's how they South Pittsburgh, where in Nashville or in Tennessee, we used to go play South Pitt. It was just a small town, and I mean you drive through the
South Pittsburgh, Tennessee.
Yeah,
I did a diner there. It was all about the high school team. Okay, if you live in a town like that, I get it.
Yeah,
I would feel weird talking about my high school like, oh, we won on Friday night.
Yeah,
I mean, like you still holding on to that, dude?
Not me.
You still wear your Letterman's jacket around?
If you said we won, if you just said we won, and someone was like, "Can you guess what sport?" I don't know if they would ever even get to your. It's like, oh, your high school football team. Like they would never even. If you go, hey, we won the other day. Can you guess the sport I'm talking about? They would. I think they would give up and then go, "What are you talking about?" You're like, high school football team, and they'd be like, "Oh."
I don't think they think sports right away. I think is there an election?
Yeah, the election, and then go down. If you're. I was trying to this stuff. Do you prefer when fans stand or sit at games? I remember, standing at Vandy game. It was the Vandy LSU game, the one I talk about the most. Where we scored with 3 seconds left, 7-6. Vandy's going to go for 2. LSU's number 7 in the country. Vandy's going to go for 2, go for the win. And we're going to do a 2-point conversion. We get 2 back-to-back delay game penalties. Back-to-back.
Yeah, we have talked about that on this.
Oh, yeah. And okay, so that game. But I remember people standing. We were standing there, and I remember this lady behind me was like, "Can you not stand?" The whole stadium's standing, and she's like, "Can you not stand?" And you're like, "Lady, this whole state. I mean, you can't go to the game. People need to don't go.
Yeah.
I think it is annoying when there's a system to it. You stand when everybody else stands. You stand when everybody sits, or you sit.
Yeah.
There's a system to it.
But somebody has to start that.
Let the whole system start. So like if you go to a concert and someone stands, look around. If other people do it with you and you're the one that starts it, you started it. If it doesn't work, acknowledge that your thing didn't work and sit back down. Yeah. Don't be the guy that's is on his own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the guy that stands up and is yelling. I mean, it's like all of them. They're yelling at the ref and they're yelling at like. I mean, there's so many times you want to just walk around that stadium, just go up to those people and go, "What are we doing here? What's going on?"
Everyone around you sitting down. You're up screaming.
You're up screaming.
Yeah.
You're only ruining the experience for like 4 people that are behind you.
Yeah.
And your family that's embarrassed. I don't like people wearing jerseys either. Like that's kind of off. I would always say a hat. I think you wear any hat to anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't think people don't have 50 hats. But I don't think a jersey. When you see someone like I'd go to like Vandy, Alabama, and someone shows up in a Tennessee jersey, it's like, what are you doing?
Oh, you mean the jersey of another team? You don't like?
Another team.
Oh, definitely not.
But that happens a lot.
Yeah, that's dumb.
I mean, really, I've seen it. Titans game, Titans Chiefs game, and then the guy in a Steelers jersey shows up, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You just want to argue with people. Like that doesn't make sense. Just wear. What do you got to do? Show us that you're into sports? Like, how are they going to know?
Is an adult doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, kids, you can let kids do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But I think you're putting your kid in a bad position if you gave him, like, why don't you wear your Steelers thing? I mean, you want your kid to be in arguments with adults, drunk adults that become irrational. And then,
There was once my freshman year of college, I went to visit my buddies at UT, and we're going to go to the UT LSU game, I think, basketball. And I brought my Vanderbilt jersey. I mean, not jersey, shirt, just for fun, just to wear. I thought it'd be funny. We're in the student section. And my buddy was like, man, it's going to be funny for a minute, but just why would you want to do that the whole game?
Yeah, no.
And he was right. And I didn't wear it.
Yeah.
Wow. But I was going to do that. But I think that's what people do. They think it'll be funny.
I don't. I think people want to argue. I think they like to. They want you to come up and say something to them, and they want to. Like it's always the guy who walks like, it's that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy wants you to say something to
I'm
him.
not even a fan of adult men wearing other
I was about
jerseys,
to say,
period.
I think just wearing a jersey in general, I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's weird to me.
Yeah.
When you really think about
Yeah.
sports is entertainment.
Yeah.
And you're dressing up like guys that are younger. You're dressing up like guys that are younger than you to watch them. And,
Yeah.
It's when you think about it like that, it's strange.
Yeah. Well, it's kids. I mean, that's the problem.
Kids are exactly. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying young kids, but I'm saying these, like, being a Vandy fan, and now I'm old enough to be the father of these people is crazy. It's like a lot that you're like, golly, there's like some 16-year-old. I'm like following on Twitter to see if he goes to Vandy, like, and you're like, what am I doing, dude? Like,
Yeah.
Did you go to college with Mantateo?
We did overlap a couple years. Yeah, he was he was a year older than me, so my junior year was his senior year.
Did y'all date the same girl?
Yes, actually, that year for sure.
Well, welcome to Nateland, everybody. Now we're rolling. This is when that episode's going to start here. It's been brutal until then. We talked like what about wearing a glove to
Man,
to a baseball game? Guys wear those.
If you're at the game where Barry Bonds is going to hit his 71st home run,
you
can bring a glove, I feel like. But if it's, a noon game on a Wednesday with the Padres versus the Braves, don't bring a glove.
That might be the one to bring one. That might be the one you're going to be wide open. You just go sit in the stands.
But at what cost?
Well, so there's this one guy who set he's had over 1,250 home run balls caught and he wrote a book on the best ways to catch a home run. And basically, you got to be able to knock down kids. I mean, that's the gist of it. He's called the most hated fan in baseball. They hate him because he'll do whatever it takes. But he says, get somewhere where you got some running room, like get on a concourse, get spread out. Don't get where everybody else is. Spread out, get some room. He doesn't do the foul poles. He says people congregate there for whatever reason. He gets in the power alleys. He's got a whole system down.
Wow.
What's the power alleys?
You know, like not dead center or dead right, kind of in between there.
So he doesn't go for foul balls. He wants home run balls.
He wants home runs. He caught Mike Trout's very first home run, and he caught A-Rod's 600th, I think.
And did he get Barry Bonds or none of them?
I don't know if not any historic home runs from Barry Bonds.
Oh, so he's just got the most home runs.
The most home runs. Over 1,200 Major League home runs.
That's a person that would wear a jersey to a different team.
Dude.
You mean like a guy that's willing to knock kids over, and like when you always see that where like they show that the videos of like some lady that just doesn't want to give the ball up to a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all
that happened to me.
Really?
About 20 years ago. So I was Aaron's age. I went to a spring training game in Florida with my parents, and it was the Braves and somebody, and we were in the outfield, and you could sit on the grass.
Honestly, it feels like you're still too old to go to something with your parents. Like that, like I feel you're telling the story like you're like about 20 years ago. Me and my parents are all right. So he's like 14. You're like, no, he's 30. Like he's in. I mean, he bought his own ticket. I mean, they like.
I was like 28, but we were sitting in the outfield on the grass, and Andrew Jones, you guys remember Andrew Jones, the Braves? Yeah. He caught the third out, and as he would tend to do, he would turn around and just flip it into the stands. Well, this time he turned and flipped it, and it came straight to me, and I caught it. And I was so excited. But then this guy, there were kids running around, this man started yelling, "Give it to the kid. Give it to the kid."
Dude.
And I felt all this pressure. But I'm a kid in my mind. I really wanted to keep. I kept it. That's about all I kept it.
Really?
I did not give.
Did no kid come up to you?
Well, as soon as he threw it in the air, everyone's kind of scrambling. But like a T-shirt contest. But it came straight to me. I kept it. I don't
think that's what a T-shirt contest is, but it's a T-shirt cannon.
T-shirt cannon, yeah.
T-shirt contest is something different. You would also be there. You'd show up. So no kid then came. There was no like direct, can I have that ball?
No. I mean, they were milling around hoping that maybe I would do that.
Uh-huh. And you could act like you don't hear.
I mean, I did. I just looked straight ahead.
I think that's a nice thing to do. Hand the ball to the kid. I don't think you should feel obligated at all. If the kid, I mean, if you went and caught it and got it, like you earned it.
Yeah.
But spring training, I don't think there's. But I mean, that's maybe where they go to get a ball. Like that's. I mean, you got to think that kid's gonna be very excited about it. The other hand, clearly do you still have the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, so that like to a guy that's gonna keep it, like almost like you could if you said, guys, I will keep this ball, and you told the kid that, like
I'm sure
the
he
dad
would understand.
might go, hey. Son, let him. He's probably gonna be like, something's up with this guy. And if that's what an adult should do, they want it. They go, hey, I'm gonna like put this ball in my bedroom, and then someone's gonna be like, oh man, that's awesome, man. Then the whole crowd be like, good for you, man. They would clap and be
Kids start bringing me balls.
Yeah, they go, we'll get you, and here's Mister, and you're like, thank you, kid. I mean, you could turn it around then. That's what some of these people should yell. I would keep this at my house.
Yeah.
And then they're like when you see when you see the drunk woman that's we can all kind of picture the video.
Yeah.
And that's all alcohol related. That's what these kids don't know. This lady's juiced up, and so
wait, what's the drunk woman doing?
She takes a foul ball from like a kid.
Or rip it out of a kid's
they just
hand.
show it, and then you're getting booed by the stadium.
Oh.
And she just says no and hangs on to it.
There's a buddy of mine, a comic from Chicago, Alex Drakovich. He has this great bit about you're led to believe that it means more to the kid, but it means so much more to the adult because the kid's life is like amazing.
Yeah.
The adult has some real hardships. Like Brian still has that ball.
Yeah.
The kid would have. I mean, he wouldn't still have that ball.
No way.
Yeah. He'd probably lose it that night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It means so much more to the adult because the adult has real things going on.
That's a ball, though, that's, you're like, when's it from? You're like, oh, wow, Andrew Jones, wow. Is that a big game? Spring training.
You guys ever caught a ball?
No.
Huh? I mean, I think, yeah.
No.
I went to spring training. We're friends with Sonny Gray. Pitches of the Reds, pitching right now. What do you mean to do? It's the life I live. I don't know what to tell you.
Name drop.
He threw us a ball. He threw me a ball. He goes, and I said, I'm good, man.
My buddy was at a National
gave
Sounds.
It to you. You would have kept that. Would you keep it? How far removed could you be from the ball? Like, if I brought you a ball that was like, hey, Sonny Gray warmed up with this ball.
I'd keep it.
Yeah. And so you're fine being removed. Like, that's like a big golf thing is if someone gives you, my brother-in-law got me a shirt for Augusta. And I wear it, but then sometimes I do feel weird because people always go, oh, have you been? And I haven't been. And so like, but like, I mean, I still wear the shirt. I like, the shirt's awesome. Like my dad will wear a shirt from anywhere. If I go, if I went and played Pebble Beach and like, I brought my dad a Pebble Beach shirt, it's like, oh, my son went to, it's like, do you feel like removed? So like if someone gave you, that's like buying memorabilia. Would you ever buy it? Like an autograph or like, I like memorabilia. How do you say it? Like, I would love some sports.
What's he talking about?
Is that how you say it? Memorabilia? Is that how you say it? I don't know how to say it.
Memorabilia?
Huh?
Memorabilia?
Memorabilia?
Let's avoid the word altogether.
I avoid that. You know what name I avoid? Bartholomew. Is that I say that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
you got it. You nailed it right there.
I'd be like, Bartholomew. Like if I met someone, hey, what's your name? Bartholomew?
Theater
didn't
is
know
mine.
how to say it.
Movie theater.
Movie theater?
I say theater.
Theater.
I'm putting it on, yeah.
Don't go down there. There's a movie theater down there. Yeah, I have trouble with some words. But I would love to buy some memorabilia.
I think for me,
I'm still not saying that. I thought I slowed it down.
You're just stretching it out a little farther. Yeah. You don't have to punch it so hard.
People are going to fast forward through me saying memorabilia.
He's still saying it.
It's still, that's how slow it goes. You're like, right when he starts hit the 15-second button and then the word sounds correct.
Yeah. You got to change the playback speed on the podcast.
Yeah.
There was a dude who caught Mark McGwire's 70th home run, who at the time was the major league record, for home runs in a season. He caught it. The Cardinals offered him some memorabilia, and he said, well, I want to meet Mark McGwire. I'd like to do that for the ball. And Mark McGwire said, pass. I don't want to do it. So the guy didn't meet him, didn't give him the ball, and he sold it 3 months later, that ball, for $3 million. Wow.
I don't understand, like...
Wait, why did Mark McGwire not want to meet with...
I don't think he cared about the ball that much. Maybe, or he's just like, I don't want to meet with this guy. I don't care.
Maybe if he doesn't want the ball, like he.
But the Cardinals wanted to put in their museum.
Yeah. He said they said we don't negotiate, which sounds like something say to terrorists,
like a hostage situation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like it's completely fair for that guy to want to meet Mark McGwire.
Yeah,
that's completely fair. This is the one that went right. It didn't go like in the stands. His one went right over.
No, not that one. That was the 62nd when he broke Roger Maris. This was the last one of the season, which they thought was going to be the record. And he said he's glad he didn't because he'd rather have $3 million.
Yeah.
He was caught up in the moment at the time and would have just given it to him.
Yeah.
But he sold it for $3 million. And then the crazy thing is the guy who bought it, Barry Bonds broke McGwire's record.
Yeah, not that long afterwards.
3 years later, and that ball is now worth $250,000.
You gotta wait. You gotta save up. Now you gotta like not do anything with it. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. How much that $3 million it goes down?
Yeah,
because it's not the.
But the guy who bought it also owns Bond's record home run too, so he's very rich.
And that's probably gone down in value now, right?
Because of steroids and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, people don't even talk about Barry Bonds' home run records anymore.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah,
he's my favorite player growing up.
Is he?
Yeah, he was.
You like cheaters? Who was before that? Pete Rose? No, he's just good joking. I love Pete Rose.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Shoeless Joe Jackson right before that. I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. There's no reason. He's I saw him in Vegas. He signs autographs in Vegas. and you just pay to go see him, and it's fun. It's crazy. He's like the real deal, man.
What do you mean?
Rose, just like stats. I saw him play my first baseball game I went to as a kid. It was the Braves and Reds, and he was manager for the Reds.
Yeah,
and we went to it, and that's the first one. But Pete Rose, does he still has records and
hit record,
just like unbelievable.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite sports moments of all time. At the All-Star game, when he injured the catcher because he was.
Oh yeah, Ray Fosse.
Yeah, because he just trucked him because he was in the base. Everyone's like, "This is the All-Star game. Chill out."
Yeah, relax, dude.
He just didn't have another gear.
Yeah,
just
laid
He's
into
like, this is the gear. Mm-hmm. Why would you not love that? And when he gambled, he only gambled on his own team. But supposedly,
yeah.
But I don't know how you prove any of that stuff. Speaking of like dominant people in their field, I love like seeing like people that, we were talking about like Bobby Fischer.
Yeah.
Like for chess. He's considered by, many of the greatest chess players of all time. At age 14, he became the youngest ever U.S. chess champion. At 15, he became both the youngest grandmaster up to that time and the youngest candidate for the world championship. 20, Fischer won the 63-64 U.S. championship with 11 wins in 11 games, the only perfect score in the history of the tournament. That's still held today. Mm-hmm. Is chess still around, kicking around.
They're the current reigning champion, a guy named Magnus Carlsen, he's now considered to be the best chess player of all time.
Oh, really?
He's been the defending champ since 2013.
Yeah,
he's like a young guy, not quite as young as Bobby Fischer was like a prodigy at a very young age.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still going.
Is he from? Where's he from?
He's Norwegian, I think, from Norway. Yeah. My dad played competitive chess for a long time, so we were real into it.
Well, when you said your Netflix documentary, why would you not bring that up over your dad's a principal? How do you not there's a documentary. I've seen a Bobby Fischer movie. How come what was your Netflix documentary? My dad was a principal for a while. Oh, by the way, I forgot he did competitive chess.
Well, he wasn't a grandmaster or anything, but he was real into it. So he got me into Bobby Fischer.
I bet are you good at chess?
I was never good. I never had the patience for it.
Yeah.
Some of these Bobby Fischer, it was hours between moves, just staring at the board.
But they would go down.
I could not do that.
He would play people go down the line and just one after the other and play them all. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Some of these freak prodigies, they don't even need to see the board.
Yeah.
They can just close their eyes and visualize all these different boards at once and play the games. It's insane.
How do they know to grab the piece?
Well, they just say what move they want.
Oh.
They'll be like, move the pawn up to, E5 or wherever.
What's E5? I got to ask him.
Yeah.
And he has to open his eyes. He's like, dude, you're killing me. I go, I don't know what E5
You're the
is.
one controlling the board?
Yeah. For him, because he's not. And he's he goes, move up 2 spaces forward. I go, thank you.
Yeah. I don't even know how to
Which
play
one's
chess.
the rook? Yeah.
Yeah. Move the rook.
You never got into it?
I never. No.
I've played it.
Isn't it like over 1 trillion possible moves or something?
It's crazy, dude. When you get to like the level that those guys are playing at, it's like a different world.
He would beat you.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Like
it wouldn't even really be fun.
No. And you got to think these guys are playing thousands and thousands of games a week. They're just constantly playing. It's like
What if you did one move that he was like, oh, and you get him, and he's like,
best 3 out of 5.
Yeah, you're so bad. Yeah, that's what that's what that makes people mad at poker. Is because just some buffoon gets up there and he's like, I'm gonna go all in, and then just wins and you're like, I don't even know the rules. Those are the scariest. Obviously chess is strategy, so it's not that, but poker is. Just you can blow up a table. Just some drunk sits down that's like, I'm here to have fun, and then next thing they know, just wipes out the table because they don't know. They don't know anything.
Yeah.
This says after 3 moves in chess, there are now 121 million possible moves, and it just goes up after that.
Yeah. If you look into some of the Bobby Fischer story when he played Boris Spassky, from the Soviet Union in 1972. That that's like one of the most so dominating, because a lot of his losses were like he would forfeit the game because the lighting was bad, and he was a crazy person.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, I don't like the lighting in here, I'll forfeit this game, or I want the cameras out, I'll forfeit this game, and then he just dominated the guy.
And so his only losses were that
I was looking this up last night. You play best of 24. He did Boris Spassky. So it's best of 24 games. So first game, Bobby Fischer lost. Second game, he forfeited because he didn't want the cameras there. And then like third game, he wanted to go play privately so where no one could see it. He made all these crazy demands.
Yeah.
And then he came back and just started dominating.
Yeah.
Win. Typically, it's like chess at a super high level like that, it's almost always a draw. You almost always,
kind of like tic-tac-toe?
Yes, exactly. And then if you win like 2 games, that's like you're going to win.
Yeah.
And he won. I mean, he just dominated the guy
Yeah.
who was the best in the world at the time.
Yeah. Wow. But he'd go play by himself like private. I mean, that's such a weird, because it's like it's not like, let me go shoot some hoops over here at this different, and then you still finish. You're like, Bobby, this is like a 4 hour, everything's like 7 hours. Like,
yeah.
Like you can't just wander. I'm going to go play a private 9-hour game. You're like, no, dude. I mean, like there's a system in place. Billiards is the other one. We talked about being a weird. I've been to Minnesota Fats, his grave. He's buried in Hermitage, Tennessee. Hermitage, right? I mean, I grew up right next to it.
Was he was from here?
No,
he retired here.
He retired here and then married someone here and died here. My dad, I remember my dad was like, when he died, and then just buried like right 5 minutes from our house.
Wow.
And so my dad was like, we need to go see. I didn't really know who he was, but he was, known as one of the more famous pool players.
Yeah, I think he's
probably the most famous.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely most famous. But in doing research on pool, not even really considered close to one of the best.
Just got a great name.
Well, the movie.
That is a great name.
The movie The Hustler, with Jackie Gleason, Paul Newman, was based kind of on him, and that's kind of made him famous. But as far as great pool players, they're like, no, this guy's not close to being one of the best.
Surprising.
There's a guy in Kentucky who's known as the best pool hustler. He was just this good old country boy, and he would never play in tournaments because he didn't want anybody to know who he was. And he would just play these back alley games or stuff and just rack up against the world's best players. And they're like, who is this guy? And sometimes he'd have to wait forever for them to make him. Then finally people started figuring out who he was, and they wouldn't play him. And then he would just come up with these crazy, like, your advantage, like, you've got 2 balls left to all my balls on the table kind of thing. And he'd still be.
He was that good.
Yeah, he was that good.
He did these bank shots that nobody could figure out. And he's just some country guy from Kentucky.
So to be a hustler, he would have to pretend to be bad first and then come in and beat everybody?
I guess so.
You can't do that in the same town for a long time.
No.
No, he would just drive around and do it. I mean, guys do it at golf. Golf, hustling. Like there's a guy, I was told, my buddy John Augustine that plays a guy he knows, he's like a radio guy, but he's like a +6 handicap, which is, if anybody knows handicaps, most people, Brian's probably a 18 to...
Or maybe I'm a hustler.
Maybe that's... yeah. We'll see. It's going to... I would love to see. He just ropes one, it goes...
He's actually right-handed?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, wow. And then, boom, just bombs
Let's play
it
for
out
some
there.
money.
People always love the story I told. I go, Brian carries his driver to every tee box. Par 3, par 5, driver. Doesn't ask the yardage, he just hits. And it all kind of works out. Like it goes the distance it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like maybe it needs to go 130. It's going to go 130. If it needs to go 2, it goes 200.
I've never hit one 200, but...
You've hit one 200.
Well, maybe. I had one good one the other day when we played, and I felt so good about it. And I go back to my cart. How the bag's got the different... partitions for your different clubs, and I try to take it and just like kind of slam it down, but I hit the partition.
Yeah.
And my club bounced up, and the guy behind me saw it, and then I tried to do it again, and it hit it again, and I finally just got on the cart with my club and drove off.
Holding on to the club.
I just did.
Yeah. But so this guy, so +6 handicap is, the pros are, entire, Jason Day he kept his handicap when he was number 1 in the world, and he was +8.1. They say Tiger in 2000 was like a +10, which is nuts. Like a handicap roughly means you're going to get, so if I'm...
+10?
+10. Tiger in 2000.
Okay.
When his run of the Grand Slam.
Not minus.
No, plus.
Okay.
Minus is like I'm a 3. So 0 is scratch. And then you get to +1, +2. Pluses are better.
Oh, okay.
Plus, it means you get strokes basically added onto you.
Okay.
So like if me and you play and you're an 18 and a 3, I got to give you a shot for 15 of the holes.
Okay.
And so, but like with Tiger Woods, he would have to give me 13 shots. And so this guy goes up, and it's like golf. I love golf. Like they come up. This dude, they said he pulls up out of his car and just walks to the first tee. Just no warm up. He's got like a visor backwards, like socks up to halfway up. And he's like, all right, you want to gamble? The guy's like, yeah. The other guy's like, good too, and wants to play. He's like, well, I'm a +6. I'll give you 3 strokes aside. So that means on the 3 hardest holes, he said he'll get 1 stroke. If he gets a bogey, he gets a par. And they were like, by the 6th hole, the guy's down 4 strokes because the other guy's like 7 under through 6. Just comes out of his car. Just out of his car, just is unreal.
Looked like a clown.
I mean, they said he wins club championships, and he has like Phil Mickelson's at a member at the club that he's at. He's a dude that is just super solid. I think he's a guy that would be like that hustler. Mm-hmm. They could easily go turn pro. They could be pro, but they will be more successful doing it the route they do it versus. I mean, I think this guy's a very successful guy, so I don't know if he needs golf, but it's like. There's more of a story with the guy doing that. I'm not telling that if that guy finishes 50th in a tournament, you're like, I don't know who that guy is, but you're like, I definitely have heard of that other guy. Yeah. And that's what these hustlers, like, they end up thriving off of is to be like, this guy's got, I mean, we're talking about him right now. This guy was not a professional player. Yeah. But that story is more of, you'd make a movie about that, you know? And so it's like, what do you want to do? Like, maybe if you're not so good, maybe if you're great at your craft, but like I'm not at the top of it, so you go find some other little roundabout way. I mean, you could probably do it like you're a construction guy. You could probably just be like, I go do it. If you heard about it, everybody likes hearing about the other guy. You're like, I got a guy that's like, it's real legit. Like if you as a business, if you hired someone to do stuff, yard work. And then if you're just like this guy, you ain't go, you're gonna find this guy in the yellow pages. Like, you're not gonna find a guy like that. It's pretty crazy. Bowling, we were talking about bowling too. It's just kind of odd sports. My grandmother's in the Bowling Hall of Fame, Louisville Bowling Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yep. She's the most 300s, I think, is what she's bowled.
How many? 2?
Yeah, 1. She actually didn't have one, but it's still the most. No, maybe it's the most. Like 299s or something. It's something like that.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've asked about it. But unbelievable bowler. It's in the genes. I failed bowling, but my game high is 266.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Good.
Pretty good.
Do women and men bowl differently?
Women do it between their legs. Men do it regular. Is that what you mean?
Not form-wise. I just didn't know.
Oh, sorry.
Is there a
What do you mean?
A difference in,
Yeah, here we go.
The color of the ball?
Yeah.
Not the.
Oh my gosh, is it pink?
I'm trying to think about how to phrase this. Do men bowl better than women in the way that they golf better and things like that?
Are women basically? You don't think they're equal? Long story short, could women do podcasts even at all? Or are they not good enough?
Do like your grandmother?
Yeah.
Would she bowl with men, or
is it? I see what you mean. Like, is it? I think so. Like, so it's like a guy. The best women golfer and Tiger Woods competing would not be the same, or like that. Like
bowling seems like the one sport you could probably do.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
like
maybe I don't know. But that they could. Like, could Peter Weber do?
Could Peter Weber and your grandmother?
Yeah. Is there even a women's bowling league, professional bowling league?
That's what
your grandmother's in the Hall of Fame.
I know, but she was just.
She's in the women's bowling Hall of Fame.
Like, no, she's in the like Louisville.
Okay.
They're bowling like, but I don't know if it's. I don't think it takes like to get into the bowling Hall of Fame. I don't think there's just. It's not like the NFL. Like, it's going to be regular people, like people that are in leagues and like.
Okay.
That is interesting. After making fun of you, that is actually a very interesting.
Because men, because the difference in how men and women golf. Obviously, men can drive the ball farther.
Yeah.
But men also putt better than women, and nobody's quite sure why.
Men always. Who putts better?
Men putt better than women, and I don't play golf, so I'm not. Flexing or anything.
You're making a point.
Oh yeah.
But you hate women, so that's
the main takeaway.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know. You got a problem.
There's a professional women's bowling association.
No, women. What they always tell you if you're a regular person, you should watch the LPGA more than the PGA. For the women, LPGA, their numbers are more like our numbers. For like a golfer, like a good, I've golfed with a LPGA player. I mean, they're going to destroy you. Like they destroy. It's nothing. It's all perfect. Everything's straight. Everything. They got very smooth swings. But as an amateur golfer, the LPGA is like way more like us. Like their distances are about the same. The shots that they have, they can obviously do way more shots, but it's more similar to like my game versus. Bryson DeChambeau that's hitting it 430 yards.
Sure.
There's what professional women bowlers make. Shannon O'Keefe's by far making the most there.
She's made $61,000. Yeah.
It's a pretty good year.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Just making on the side.
Yep.
Who was the Earl? You said Earl Anthony won 43 Professional Bowlers Association titles during his incredible career and was named PBA Bowler of the Year 6 times. He was also the first bowler to top $100,000 in earnings in a year and the first to surpass $1 million in career earnings. He was above Peter Weber
in the rankings I saw. Yeah,
he's current. Wow, you thought Peter Weber's the only. What does he say?
Who do you think you are? I am.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? I am. He's got to be the most famous bowler
for sure. Yeah. Just for that one moment.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? I am. It's an unbelievable. I love it. I love like the greatness of all this stuff. We're talking just run like racing. AJ Foyt. Like I love greatness, man. Secretariat horse racing. It's crazy. It is crazy. Like. I'm a big MMA fan. John Jones. John Jones is the best. I think Khabib is probably the other one. But I watch people for greatness. I watch, like, I would say, people that don't like. Look, if you hate sports, then it doesn't. None of this matters. But if you're into sports, you got to expand yourself and go watch these things. You're watching stuff that's a once in a lifetime. Seeing Khabib or John Jones MMA. If you like the sport, Khabib he fought a bear growing up. That's what he fought in Russia. There's video, and he wrestles a bear. Yeah. This guy is a once in a lifetime person. So like I enjoy when you feel someone is, it's like this is not normal. This guy is better than the best. So I try to watch those things. Tiger Woods, I watched his whole career. You just can tell, when these people are going to be. Greatness is unbelievable. What it takes. Tiger Woods, Jordan. I always said, I never watched Kobe, and because I was too close to Jordan. I think if you're around my age, it was almost like we get Jordan, and it's the one regret I wish I would have paid attention more to that transition and then watched Kobe. And I was just, when I was 20 or 21, like I don't think I cared as much.
Yep.
But I would have loved to have seen that transition more and watched them more, and then really appreciate Kobe's game. But I think if you're my age, that's why you're such a Jordan fan. And then Kobe was just kind of missed. You were almost like, it's too much. I just got done watching this dude. I can't get into this guy again. Like you're just like I'm spent right now. And now I'm back into LeBron James. I've watched his entire career because I was like I had one removed, and then now I'm like, all right. And so like now I'm trying to make myself in the NBA. The NBA, you know, whether you like it or not, for all the as far as talent goes, they have the most kind of once in a generation talent with. I mean, Steph Curry, obviously, but I don't even think he's not the freak of nature I'm talking about. Like Giannis at Milwaukee and Luka Doncic at Dallas. I mean, dude, those two are pretty crazy. Luka Doncic is where's he from? He's from somewhere.
I think you're right.
Spain or something, maybe.
Let me get on that.
From? Yeah, he's from. It doesn't matter.
Slovenian.
Near Spain. I have no idea where Slovenia is. I wouldn't even begin. If you told me leave right now, go to Slovenia. I mean, it would be.
I'm trying to think. I don't even know what continent it's in.
Yeah,
it could be.
I think it's Eastern Europe.
Yeah, that's
or Western Asia.
I would head to Russia. I would be like, I'm going that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I would go from there. But Luka Doncic this dude was playing with like grown men, and there was really not a ton of like video on him. But he was, he just turned 21. And I think when he's like 17, 18, he's playing in the men's league. And so he came into the league and was just like a dude already, like a real just grown guy. And he's really got a shot at, he could pass all of LeBron's stuff. This dude can be nuts. And it's pretty crazy. So he's someone that you're like, all right, you should... you really need to probably keep an eye on it. Like it's a guy that's going to be kind of crazy. You just don't want to when their career's over think like I never watched one thing.
I know.
Like
let me ask you this: if you could choose, guy comes to your show, loves your comedy, y'all become best friends for life. Everyone knows you're best friends. Michael Jordan or Luka Doncic right now.
Michael Jordan.
But he's retired and he's going to be dead.
I know, but
Luka Doncic for 15 years, you could be on the sidelines, NBA, high-fiving him. You could be the next Spike.
Do you want to get it on the ground floor?
The ground floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just my age is too much. Like you can't pass up. Until Michael Jordan dies, you get a chance to be with Michael Jordan. You just got to take that. He's too much of a thing.
What about you, Aaron?
Michael Jordan. He's the brain. Like yeah.
How much of a language barrier is it with this guy?
It's not good.
I'm just thinking about.
Tell you what, it's not
just
good.
Pretend like
I'm just thinking about the hangs.
Just pretend like you speak Slovenian, or just pretend like it's perfect English.
He speaks perfect English.
Yeah, it's like you speak Slovenian. You're like, he's gonna have a better life than
we'd say
you speak Slovenia. I think you have a decent shot to hang out with Luka Doncic if you could learn the language.
That's true.
For the next 15 years, he's the face of the league. You're on the sidelines, coming over. He's getting popcorn from your bucket. You guys are tight.
I'd do it, man. I'd do it for sure.
But you can never meet Michael Jordan.
I'm never going to meet him anyway.
Yeah. Well, you could in this scenario. You could be best friends with either one of them.
It's a very loose game. That maybe you and Michael and all can become friends. You're like, you can just get whatever you want out of it.
That's a good question, though. I have no interest in knowing Michael Jordan on a personal level.
All right.
He's a golfer. I would love that.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
Split vote.
I think I can meet Michael Jordan. You think I'll ever meet him, golf with him?
Probably at a golf charity event at the Nate Bargatze.
You know what athlete I'm most surprised that you've never met and aren't BFFs with is Brent Snedeker.
Yeah. Never met him.
Because you know a lot of people, especially Vandy people.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we just never crossed paths. I would love to meet him. I'd love to become best friends with him. With some of the other greatness, Coco Gauff. She was the 15-year-old that in the Wimbledon performance, she beat Venus Williams in the first round, reached the fourth round.
Would you rather be best friends with her or Serena Williams?
I might get arrested if I'm friends with Coco.
Yeah, Coco's got a real shot to be like kind of a phenom. But I don't. She has the best chance out of the tennis. But Serena. Serena doesn't, I don't think, get the acknowledgement of what she's done. She's been she's borderline one. She's with Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. I mean, she's one of the most dominant.
Yeah, she's the greatest women's tennis player of all time.
Hockey, Connor McDavid is he's only 23. He's a dude. I remember hearing about him. Wayne Gretzky called him the best prospect he's seen in 30 years.
Wow.
One that's kind of different, Kyle Buga Giersdorf.
You know this guy?
Nephew
Aaron?
probably knows him.
I don't know him, no. He's a Fortnite
Yeah, he's an esports guy.
I mean, esports, it's bigger than all of these other sports we're talking about, which is crazy to think about. But
it's bigger than basketball?
I mean, more people watch the League of Legends Championship, which is a video game, than watch the Super Bowl.
How many people watch the league? Look up how many people watch
What?
League of...
Yeah, the League of Legends video game.
And what is it? It's a Fortnite
No,
matchup?
it's a League of Legends is a real-time strategy video game. It's not like a first-person shooter.
What do you mean look up?
League of Legends, I don't know.
Views, ratings.
Yeah,
views.
League of Legends views for the championship. Yeah, versus Super Bowl, yeah.
Do you mean... So... did we go back to versus Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, versus Super Bowl, there we go.
It's... I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
This esports giant drawing more viewers in the Super Bowl and is expected to get even bigger. Over 10,000 League of Legends fans descended upon St. Louis this week, and more than 600,000 people watched the event online. I don't understand. Draws in more viewers than... How many viewers does it get, though?
Well, let's
does it not say, like... just try to figure out how many viewers it gets.
All right. I'll get back to you.
Okay. It's huge, though.
It's for them to say that. I mean,
there's
that kind of stuff fascinates me when it's this huge world just kind of going on underneath us, and you really don't know about it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's definitely people don't. If you're older, I mean, I think this country's going to get taken over pretty easily in 20 when the guys that should be fighting have never left their house. I mean,
this says more than 100 million people watched it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, it's fun to watch.
But I mean, what's the age? Like, I mean, you could get down to the age, dude. Like, so my nephew Caleb, he's real big on Fortnite. He does the Twitch, and you can watch him on Fortnite. I don't know his name, but on Fortnite. But he does all that stuff, and they play it, and they're obsessed. I looked up like that. There's a guy Ninja, that's a big Fortnite player, and all these kids follow him. He's like famous. I mean, these guys are famous, and they stream, and and it's a different kind of thing. They watch. My daughter even watches. She plays a game, Roblox, and it's just a kid, some kind of dumb game. It's got you got to kind of keep an eye on because it's online. Everything's online. Everything's online with them, and so you got to everything you do. You got to keep a pretty strong eye of what they're doing. But she's watched videos of people playing, of them streaming their game online. So I mean, it's something that people are into. What's funny is I jokingly said this country would get taken over by these kids, but there's a chance that they could they don't have to fight, but they have
war game videos.
Yeah. They're sitting stuff out, and we're actually unbelievable at it. So maybe the country will do fine. Who knows? But that's pretty. Yeah, I can't believe it's 100 million people that are watching a video game, watching two guys play a video game.
But it's you want to watch the best people in the world do. It's the same concept with traditional sports. Yeah. You play basketball as a kid, but you want to watch Michael Jordan play. You want to watch the best people play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would almost want to watch it. I feel it's so quick though. That's the thing that's hard with video games to me is it's very fast. I don't know the moves, so it's just you see Fortnite and them building whatever they're building, it's just ba 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 ba. It's super quick.
Some people, I feel that way watching hockey sometimes. If you're unfamiliar with it and you don't know what's going on, you're what is going on right now?
Yeah. Couple more greatness to just watch. I'll just say it quickly. Christian Pulisic, right? He's they already say he's the greatest American soccer player of all time.
Yep.
And if we get to the World Cup, if you're in it, he'll be playing in it, has a long run at it. Also, I was a big Katie Ledecky fan because you would see for swimming. And I loved seeing the videos where she would be like people would be out of screen. Like you would be like, oh, is she swimming by herself? And then she's beat people by that much. Olympic swimmers by that much.
Yeah.
And then you found out Reagan Smith is the next one.
Yep.
That's supposed to be, I mean, maybe better than her.
According to this.
That's great. If you have them two going at it, that's nuts, dude. Because Katie Ledecky's already so much better than everybody else. Like, it looks like it's not fair. Mm-hmm. And this girl comes in, and now she's that.
And they're both American?
Both American.
There we go.
There we go. Something.
I know.
We got something. A couple, like we were talking about records, like Wayne Gretzky's one of the more impressive. As far as like Jordan, Tiger, all that kind of stuff, Wayne Gretzky's in that boat. And Wayne Gretzky, I mean, his records are nuts. I love like talking to someone that's really into my buddy Graham Kay, who's from Canada, and he, you know, obviously they love hockey, and I'll just like, I'll like always, even I get the same answers from him, but I'm like, how good is Wayne Gretzky? I like hearing just where he's like, dude, he goes, no one's even close to his records. No one's even, I mean, he scored the most points in NHL history. The next closest, 28-57. The next closest is Jaromir Jagr at 1921. And Jagr played in almost 300 more games. And he's barely within 1,000 points.
Yeah, that's insane.
And Joe Thornton has the most points among active players at 1,509. I mean, it's not, no one can do it.
Yeah.
No one. His records are the ones that I don't think can ever be broken. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a game. Could that be broken? I mean, Kobe did 82. I could see it being broken. Like,
really?
Kobe had 82 points. If they let someone do it, then it can be broken. He scored 82. These guys are so good that that's closer than anybody's gotten to Wayne Gretzky's. Like,
that's true.
You're at least like going like, all right, he needed 18 more points. Could Kobe have scored? I don't even know if he played later in that game.
So some of these old records, it's like the game has changed significantly since then. Like there was not a 3-point shot.
Yeah.
When Wilt Chamberlain was playing. So you know,
you get some guy on a run of 3. I mean, they're shooting. Yeah, it's nuts. Cy Young at 511 career.
That's mine.
Had the most wins. Now is Verlander at 226. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say about the wins is these guys are playing longer. And they're able to play into their 40s now.
No, they're baseball. They may not have another 300-game winner, they said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the game's changed so much. Back in Cy Young's time, guys pitched almost every game.
Yeah.
They'd have 40
the pitching rotations now.
Yeah. And now...
that's true. So I guess that's pretty good.
Cy Young is 511. Only one other guy has more than 400. It's like leaps and bounds higher than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Nolan Ryan with 5,700 strikeouts and Justin Verlander's 3,000. So, I mean, that's got to be pretty tough to beat because now it's going to be broken up. But that's the thing that's hard is, like, I don't know if anybody's, like, there's going to be guys that are good enough to get those, but they're not going to get the opportunity to get those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I mean, you could say the same with Gretzky. I mean, man, I don't know. Gretzky has so many points. Cal Ripken, 2,600 consecutive baseball games. What do you have?
Insane.
It's insane. The current streak is Whit Merrifield of the Royals, who played in 247 straight games. I remember watching the Cal Ripken.
Yeah, it was a huge.
That's when, I mean, that's like the McGuire Sosa. It was where were you? They kept. I mean, man, it's you know. I'm trying to think. What was the last sport that had something where it was like you had to watch it? I mean, maybe like.
I remember when Michael Phelps in the Olympics. That was like a every night. Let's tune in and see if he can. You know.
So Olympics, but Olympics are Olympics.
That's
true.
About
like regular sports where it's some kind of record. Brett Favre, but that was probably around Cal Ripken.
Not as big, but Drew Brees has set a few passing records.
Yeah. Like, but it was like a regular Sunday, and like like they went to it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Kyle Ripken. It wasn't this Sammy Sosa. Like,
I feel like baseball in general, people just the records are more exciting. People keep track of them more, and
shooting a 59 for golf. Like if someone shoots a 59, there's always a 59 watch, and you want to go kind of see it. Like he's got to go 200 to get. Jimmy Furyk shot a 58 in a tournament play, which is nuts.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory about Cal
Ripken's? No.
So Cal Ripken, he holds the record for most consecutive starts in baseball. And it was, like you said, it was a huge deal when it was happening. And here's the conspiracy theory, is that there's one day where Cal Ripken was late to a game. And the Orioles, in order to keep the streak going, because it was so lucrative to them, it was such a compelling story, they faked a power outage at the stadium so that the game would get postponed so that Cal Ripken could continue could continue the streak. Now, the legend is that he caught his wife with Kevin Costner. Everybody, and that's why he was late to the game. Yeah. Because he was driving to the stadium, was like, oh, I forgot my wallet, turned back around and found Kevin Costner and his wife at house. Everybody involved denies that this took place. Yeah. But that's the legend. He was late because he was beating up Kevin Costner at his house. Yeah. The Orioles freaked out. They're like, pull the plug. All the lights went out, and they had to postpone the game.
Does he say why he was late at all? Or like
he says, I was at the game in the dugout.
Yeah.
And there's one sports writer from Baltimore who corroborates that. But it's like, I have no trouble believing that the Orioles would do something that drastic to keep that record alive.
I think they would do that. I think they would too. I think he wants that record, so he's not going to go be late to a game too. And like, so I could see it also being like the non-fun version, which is usually probably the right version, is like he probably is in that dugout.
Yeah,
and
it's probably
and
all
someone didn't see him and goes, "Where's he at?" And then they just like, because everybody wants that to be the story.
I know.
And the Kevin Costner thing is, I mean, that's wonderful. I mean, how would they even be? Imagine Kevin Costner is a major movie star at that point. I mean,
so Kevin Costner was actually filming a movie in Montana.
Yeah.
I think the day that this game took place.
Yeah.
So people that are really into this theory think he flew out to Baltimore because he knew that Cal Ripken would be. And I think Cal Ripken and Kevin Costner are like best friends.
Yeah. Not anymore.
That adds, that's what I'm saying. Adds a layer to it.
You know.
I love conspiracy theories.
How do you know he won't come home? And it's like, if you know anybody's not going to come home, it's that guy during that time.
Exactly.
Like, that's the best time to do something. His wife could just be like, come on. The whole world's watching. I promise he won't be here.
2,600 days in a row, honey. He has not come home.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me. I try to get him to come home. So, all right, those are the records. I mean, we've done, about enough, plenty. So, what's the last thing we'll do is that I do want to ask is what is your greatest sports moment? Which I'd love to hear some people respond to us to see, because I bet there's probably some listeners that have some pretty crazy sports moment. Which I don't, I think y'all's will be funnier than mine. If you grab that ball right there, the dirty one, if you can.
Yeah.
This is my greatest sports moment. I have the ball.
This is a home run ball you caught when you were in the stands?
Not a home run ball. I did. April 23rd, 1990.
Wow.
I threw a no-hitter. No-hitter for the 1990 minor team Phillies, in case you're wondering. And I threw a no-hitter. And that's
wow.
I walked some guys. Some kids got on.
It wasn't a perfect game, but...
Wasn't a perfect game.
Did you hit anybody?
But as a no, I don't think I did not hit anybody. But threw a no-hitter. And that is my...
a no-hitter at that age is unheard of.
No one's ever done it. I'm the first ever no-hitter.
Wow.
And and to be honest, I can't ever remember if this is the actual ball, if this is from another game. I thought it said no-hitter on it, but I can't find it. But then I was like, I think it's this one. So, but
what's your most embarrassing?
I mean, most embarrassing is the joke I have where I got I got a home run off a walk.
Yeah.
And then it's a true story. It was 13-year-old league. I went to first base, ran around, and then the umpire said that was only ball 3.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard the joke, it's an old joke, but I had to bat again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, immediately struck out. That was the most embarrassing that I've had.
Didn't you strike out in a celebrity softball game?
I struck out, and we start poking, we start digging. You've done your homework.
Oh, wait, what is this?
Oh, man.
Oh, there it is. I look pretty good right
That's
there.
That's Nate at the celebrity softball game.
It's a great picture.
Right before.
It's a loose
Royals jersey.
Grown man can't wear his own jersey. That jersey has my name on it.
That's pretty cool.
I struck out at that church softball. I'm in church softball. Church softball. I had some embarrassing ones. I got the yips trying to throw from second to first base, and I would launch the ball. Yeah. And you know how like church softball league fields, like the top of there's no top on the dugout fence. Mm-hmm. Like it's always like the fence and then it's like open. And I mean, dude, I could not get the ball to the first baseman. I didn't know how to do it. And I mean, I was a pretty good baseball player. So I know how to play, and I just got in my head and I would grab it and I would throw it and it would just go above him every time. I mean, if I got the ball, I needed to run and toss it to him, and I would just launch it 15 feet above his head, and it would hit the fence and fall into the visitor's dugout. Yeah. And then they just got to kick the ball. Wow. It was just like, hey, just launching it too. But I did strike out in front of all these people at Kansas City for the Big Slick. It's a great organization. They do lots of stuff at the Children's Hospital in Kansas City, and they all these celebrities are there. I'm the only one that struck out. There's obviously no rules. David Koechner is on the team, and you would get him out just 4 times, and he just wouldn't leave. And then they'd count the run. It was very funny, but you'd be like, I got you, and he just stands there. And, I mean, there's not even a question. Like, he's not. And then he just goes to second, then he would steal to third, and you would tag him 3 times. Still in the third, and he gets the run, and they put the run up. It's the point of it is that. And
so you could have stayed up there.
I could have stayed. Paul Rudd was, because all these people from Kansas City, it's pretty crazy. Paul Rudd, David Koechner, Eric Stone Street, Rob Riggle, and Jason Sudeikis. And so it's all of their thing. All of them from Kansas. Pretty famous, crazy group. I was on Paul Rudd's team, and but it's funny, they weren't letting anybody strike out. I mean, there's like old ladies are playing, and they would just keep pitching them until they got a hit. And I was the only one that got 3 pitches and then was like, you're out.
Were you whiffing them or were you
whiffing
taking?
Them, dude. Oh, whiffing them.
Well, maybe they saw a difference between you and an old lady. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I sit down next to Paul Rudd. I go, I can't believe I struck out in front of him. He's like, no one cares. And then no one else struck out. And then I'm the only one that struck out. I think it's because I golf so much, it was weird to me to see a ball coming in versus and I mean full on straight 3 pitches, didn't wait that felt outside. 3 pitches, dude.
Wow.
And then walk and have to go.
Did anybody in the crowd, was there a response? Did they laugh?
No, I mean I was early. People are still coming in, but I'm sure someone had to know. I talked about it that night on stage because it's
like striking out in kickball.
That's probably more embarrassing because you probably fall down.
Exactly.
I got to participate in one of those in-game things at the Nashville Sounds game where you go out on the field.
Yeah.
And this was, I was like 18 or 19, so it should have been at my peak physical ability.
Yeah.
And they had a board with a donut hole in it, and you had to throw 3 balls through the donut holes. And they picked me. So I'm going down there on the field, and I said, has anybody ever done this? And they're like, no, but we usually have old people. You
probably have a chance.
And they had what they called them soundettes, basically Nashville Sounds cheerleaders. And they were each holding the board. And I'm out on the field in between innings, and my first ball sailed over the board, and the soundette had a duck, and it whizzed her head. And, the crowd did respond.
Yeah.
The next 2, none of them went through. It just hit the board.
Yeah.
And, people were heckling me walking off the field at a Nashville Sounds baseball game. They're yelling at me. And then I went back to my seat. I was with my buddies, and they said, the lady behind them said, I've been to every game. That is the worst ever done in that.
That's the worst.
Man.
Yeah.
And just think, 10 years later, you went to spring training with your parents.
That adds up. That's about right, actually.
That's your most embarrassing?
No, that's not my most. That's just one of them.
Yeah.
That's not even top 10. It's just the one that happened to fit the story.
Man.
I barely even remember that one.
I balked in the winning run in high school.
Oh.
That's the worst way to lose a game. If you're a casual sports fan, you might not even know what a balk is because nobody ever does it.
What sports did you play in high school?
football and baseball. I played basketball in middle school. It's fair to say.
He was in a Taylor Swift video.
Oh, I saw you post a picture of it.
Yeah, they filmed a Taylor Swift music video at my high school when I was attending there. And there I am storming the field after the main character catches the game-winning touchdown. Oh. It's a fun memory. Yeah. That's the video. Taylor Swift was accepting the award for that video when Kanye West interrupted her on stage. Oh, wow. Which is like a famous cultural moment. Yeah, yeah. You know? Yeah, so I like to think I was a small part of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Do I? Someone brings up, you remember Kanye and Taylor West? You're like, do I? I was a part of that whole mess. That's what you say.
Yeah, that was a crazy time in my life, man. I was caught.
All the press I had to do. I don't want to talk about it. All the press you would go do. Aaron will not talk about Taylor Swift or Kanye West.
Next question.
And then they're like, well, that was the only. All right, we're good.
we don't care about anything else. Yeah. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Is that you have?
Did you tell? Oh, do you want to talk about the best play or? He told his most embarrassing. I guess.
The most embarrassing. What is your greatest?
We have video of this. You want to set it up?
Yeah, I have video of my greatest sports moment, which happened much earlier in my life than I would have liked. I was 7.
Okay.
I was 7 playing for the Montgomery Seminoles. We were the midgets division. That's ages 6 and 7.
Little people.
I was number 37. I played defensive end. This is in Tallahassee, Alabama, at Hot O'Brien Stadium. And I remember I played defensive end. You know, when you're 6 and 7 years old, like nobody passes. Yeah. Because your hands aren't even big enough to throw a football at that age.
Imagine,
really, right?
Yeah. What are we doing at this stage?
October 30th, 1999.
I know.
I'm out of high school. My college career is officially done.
Okay.
Just ended.
Okay.
I'd been working for a while. At the TV station.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might have talked about this on the news that night. Yeah. Because this was a pretty big moment. You know, they had one kid. You might want to mute it just because the music.
I don't know. The music adds to it.
Yeah, well, it might be copyright.
Oh, all right.
Interception.
Yeah,
taking it all the way back
to the house for the win.
To the house.
I mean, look at that. That's legit speed for a 7-year-old back then.
Yeah.
There's my dad going crazy on the side. Look at the coaches are going nuts. I mean, this is the biggest thing to happen in the state.
Play like you've been there.
I mean,
so I remember. This is one of the few sports moments in my life where I remember exactly what was going through my mind. They had one kid on their team that could throw the ball.
Yeah.
Just one kid. I remember he had weird sleeves. Oops. And earlier in the game, he threw a touchdown pass. Yeah. And they brought that kid in at the end, and I thought, they probably only have one pass play. I'm just going to go where he's going to pass.
You jumped the route.
I did jump the route. Yeah, not what a defensive end is supposed to do at all in that play. I mean,
that's what's so funny. Wow, what a great cornerback. Actually, defensive end.
Yeah, exactly. That was not what I was supposed to do at all. But
I had an interception. I never had a touchdown. Never scored a touchdown.
Really?
And then I had an interception. I was probably 11 or 12, and we were playing UNA, and I was a cornerback, and they receiving. So the kids are older. This team was unbelievable. This team is always the best team ever. And I remember he ran like a little out route, and then I just stepped up in front of it, and I jumped up and caught it. And I remember catching it, and then I remember being slammed on the ground. Like it's like I caught it, and the kid just grabbed me and threw me on the ground. And they announced we had one other kid on our team that was amazing, and they said they on the loudspeaker they said his name for the interception because they just assumed they were like, well, obviously that guy did it.
Yeah.
And then we was like, no, I did it, and I had my big interception.
Wow,
that's crazy.
What's your greatest?
I don't have one.
What could you?
All right, so I thought about that. I mean, the only thing I could possibly think of is I played baseball and basketball, and there's me as a basketball player there in junior high.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
So
right when they got color cameras.
And there was one game, I mean, I was terrible. I was always terrible. I never scored. But there's one game I hit a 10-foot jump shot.
Yeah.
Legit 10-foot jump shot. So then we go down the other team. We come back down, they throw the ball at me, I shoot again. the guy on the other team tipped the ball like when I shot it, but somehow it made it go in the hoop.
Yeah.
My coach didn't see this apparently, so he yells, "Brian's hot. Give him the ball," which I've never heard in my life. He doesn't know that the only reason that ball went in is because another guy helped it. So then we go down, then we come back down, and they're like, "Get Brian the ball," which I've never had before. They throw it to me. I shoot it. It goes over the backboard. It was one of those makeshift concession stands over there where the parents run, and it bounced like over into them where the dad had to throw it back in.
Yeah.
That's my greatest moment.
Your greatest moment is a heat check.
Yeah,
moment.
heat check.
Yeah.
For a second, they thought I was...
He's cold. He's back off. That's what they have to
Don't throw it to him anymore.
No more Brian. No more Brian, everybody.
But, I mean, I stole a base once and thought that somehow the guy fouled the ball back, and I ran back to first. And it confused them so much. I was on second, and I thought, oh, they fouled it back, so I started right back first. About halfway there, he was like, throw it to first. And I had to slide head first into first base.
Back to the base.
And I'm back right where I was with the first base coach. And he's like, "What are you doing, man? You were there." I was like, I thought they fouled it. I didn't know. So in a way, I stole 2 bases.
That's never happened before. You're the only one. You stole a base, then you stole it back.
The look on my first base coach's face when he saw me coming back there.
Wow. Oh, dude. I mean, just to have to dive in, just to you have to slide to fix a problem that shouldn't be a problem. Like you're getting back to the original. You could be like, dude, you could just stay here, man, and we wouldn't be going through this. And for you to get all the way to second, and
That's amazing.
That's like, I feel like with you end up. Anybody else, it's like maybe you make it back to first, but you just go back to first, and you're like, well, that was a stupid move. And you're the only one that gets in a battle situation, just trying to get back to the original spot. I mean, it's a full-on real play.
I mean, I went in head first. The ump had to call safe.
Oh, dude, that's unbelievable. That's so
awesome.
good. All right, we got to be. That's enough. This is too much. So we have to get some more of your sports stories. Man, I like closing out with some nice Brian Bates sports stories.
That's still might not
favorite.
be in the top 10.
Yeah. All right. This was a long one. This was too long. A lot of people say. I'm already in the comments. Too much. Fast forward. All right. Everybody, thank you for listening to Nateland. Make sure you go rate it, leave comments, message us. If you have great sports moments that are very funny ones, either way, send us some comments. We love you all. You all have been super nice. So thank you so much, and see you next week. Bye.